The manipulation of public opinion is one of the battles of our times, and it is spreading through the European Union. Romania is one of the new front lines. At this independent media monitoring organisation, they trawl through hours of TV footage from privately run news networks owned by oligarchs with links to major political parties. Fake news, they say, is spreading like a virus.
Media outlets are very biased, very polarized, and sometimes I got the feeling that they are acting like, I don't know, personal communicators for the politicians.
Romanian media has been trying fake news for a while. Mass protests against new laws protecting corrupt politicians were met with media claims that the demonstrators had been paid to turn up by the billionaire George Soros, already a hate figure in illiberal countries. European elections are fast approaching, national elections in Romania later in the year. A perfect opportunity, it is feared, for media-owning oligarchs and politicians to come together to try to silence independent, critical voices. This radio presenter is one of Romania's most respected broadcasters, with 500,000 Twitter followers and 300,000 on Facebook. Yet he admits to a sort of self-censorship on social media, in fear that hidden forces might have his account suspended. More than that, he predicts a far bigger clampdown on critical media after this year's elections, just as happened in Hungary.
I think in the very next day after Mr. Orban won the election, the last opposition radio station simply ceased to exist. So I look to Hungary and say, these guys want to do the same to us.
And what of the real investigative journalists like Paul, who helped expose global corruption through the so-called Panama Papers? The day after his website ran an expose on a high-ranking politician, he received a visit from the tax police based on a fake complaint from a non-existent accountant. His view is that the European Union should be doing a whole lot more than it is to support people like him.
This goes across borders. Countries themselves cannot deal with this type of problems, you know. So there's a need for an EU kind of law enforcement agency, you know, that would deal with very high level cases, you know.
And protect journalists at the same time.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
While the European Commission certainly knows about all this, it spends most of its time and effort on fake news originating from Russia. But decent journalists in Bucharest hope Romania's current high profile might focus minds on the democratic deficit much closer to home. Laurence, Al Jazeera in Bucharest.